You only have to tell us your story. You don't have to think. You know it all.
I'm not telling you the whole story. It began in Manchester. I was passing the enrolment offices, and I'd wanted to join the Wrens before, but I wasn't old enough. I had to go back into the bad world and start again, which I did. And then I went into this office, told them that I wanted to join the Wrens because the Wrens weren't enrolled, called up. They were all volunteers. They didn't call up anyone for the Wrens, and you could leave at any time. But of course, if you left, you'd probably finish up going down the mines or something like that. Well, if I'm honest, and if a lot more honest, it was the uniform. We thought, those of us who joined up and got them, we thought it was the nicest uniform. I left home, I think it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. My father took me to the station in Manchester. I'd got this letter to say I was accepted, and I had to be on I forget what it was, but I had to be on a certain train. Mm-hmm. I got a pass for it, which I got on this train. I'd never been further than, well, I don't know. I'd never been further than Blackpool for a holiday. Because my father and my mother were in business and they didn't take time off so easily. But anyhow, I got on this train, got down to London and asked a few questions as how I could get to this certain address. And I turned up there, as did many others. We all arrived on the same day. Some girls took it badly and were missing home, and like they do. But however, we all landed safely. Well, you'll laugh when I tell you. The Southend on Sea. Because of that, I don't know if you know Southend, it had a terrifically long pier. And merchant ships used to come and dock at the end of the pier, and we had to account for what they brought in. It was very slow going to us. You know, we sort of got visions of galloping soldiers and all the rest of it. But we weren't really called upon to do very much, so we were like, we're on holiday. But then, of course, as the war came closer to us, things changed a bit. But I was at Southend most of the time. We had books which had signals in pictures, like an S and an H and whatever. They were in pictures, and that was for the Americans because they didn't understand our pictures. But we got them done, and they used to come in ever so often. They'd bring them in to be updated. And these for the Americans. I don't know whether the Americans appreciated it, really. I don't think they did. Well, all I really remember, is being told we couldn't phone home. We weren't told why, just that we couldn't get in touch. So we had to keep really away from the phone, because the local phones, they were all right. They didn't know what was going on. It was done rather well, actually, that bit. And I think, well, really, we didn't know what was happening anyway, so we just got on with what our normal duties were. I remember, yes, quite a lot of elderly sailors, merchant seamen, they were involved in that. They did a hell of a lot of good. We never acknowledged it up until, just lately. They didn't get any medals, they didn't get any awards for loading their small, battered ships along with through the channel, and they were good, really good.
Yeah.
They didn't grumble, they just got on with it. And there were some younger lads, you can guess what they were up to. No, those that were actually on the ships, stood and had a chance of being shot at. But they kept coming and going, and they came along to Southend, shed what they had to shed there, and then go back for more. That was all I remember of D-Day. And of course the reports of how many ships were saved and how many weren't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Aspect 18, 20 year olds, which I was at the time, and you meet up with others the same age, and all you think about is you go on duty, you do what you're called on to do, and then you have a lot of time. It doesn't strike you how tragic it all is. You get back to, we had an office at the end of the pier. Used to go along there. How many today, somebody would say? 3, 5, whatever. Little ships that were, just bombed out of the water. And that was at the time when we did notice the difference and how tragic war was. Well, meeting my husband as well.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, he was in the get these mixed up. He served on those merchant ships. He was seconded from the Navy, was on those ships, and they were very slow, and he could see his shipmates in the convoys going ahead and getting on with it. Then they'd have to stop and wait for the little ships to catch up.
Thank you very much, Edna, for sharing your story with us. Thank you so much.
There's not much of a story, but you're welcome to it.
Thank you.